Hello, Goddess. Welcome back. This is Andrea with You Are Mind, Body, Soul. And in this temple space, I guide your inner goddess to bridge the mind, body, and soul through psychosomatic education, consciousness reconditioning, as well as alchemy and energetics. Come on in. It feels so good to be back to talk to you today about this fun topic of how to know if you need more feminine energy. Is masculine energy running your life? There are a lot of telltale signs to really be able to know. And today we're going to talk about those signs and ways that you can increase your feminine energy so that you can have a more joy-filled life of more pleasure, fun, as well as growth. So before I get too deep into the topic, I want to remind you to please like this video so that the algorithm can do its magical, mysterious thing. Please share this video so that other goddesses such as yourself can receive this information. And please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you receive updates when I post new videos every Monday. So let's go ahead and get into it, all right? So signs that you need more feminine energy in your life. Let's just start with the obvious. If you're a control freak, if you're a control freak, signs that you're a control freak. Typically, you have no patience to wait for people to figure things out. You are always the first on the scene to volunteer for something. You often make the statement, if you want something done right, then you have to do it yourself. You will work yourself to the ground to make everything turn out perfectly. I also think I would file being a control freak in the same category as perfectionist. That is a form of a masculine and feminine energy imbalance. When you look at nature and you observe nature, there are so many imperfections in God's work when we turn to nature. But when we zoom out and we look at everything, it is just absolutely beautiful and it is absolutely perfect. So tapping into your feminine energy can come through connecting with nature and grounding yourself in nature, which is also your natural physical body. And that will help you to understand that there is no such thing as perfection. And we just need to allow things to play out. Let it play out. That statement right there is a powerful statement that will come in handy for a lot of situations where if you find that you have been exerting a tremendous amount of energy to get an outcome, especially when it involves multiple people and an array of variables that are out of your control, but yet you are still putting all of your divine energy and channeling it into your masculine energy to affect the outcome on that thing, you are going to drain yourself over time and you will find that you are fatigued, which is the next thing that I have on the list. Signs that you need more feminine energy in your life is if you are frequently fatigued, okay? If you are always tired and you are always on the go and you are always working, it means that somewhere in your process and in your journey, you have neglected your inner goddess's request for rest and to slow down. You have been going so fast on autopilot that you have just driven past each and every opportunity to allow yourself to rest. And a lot of this comes back to having that adrenal fatigue and having a nervous system that is overactive, which we have talked about in previous videos. I think one of the videos was something along the lines of more beauty, anti-aging. And then also there's a video, Feminine Women Live Longer. We talk about adrenal fatigue, which is a really big deal. You don't want to be tired all the time. Like this hustle trend, it is so outdated. This is how you get all types of diseases and ailments and how you age yourself quickly. So slow down, especially if you find out that you're a human design generator. So as I deepened into my goddess studies and did my inner work, at every corner, I learned something new about myself. And last year, 2023, I actually got into human design study. And I learned that I am actually a human design generator, which about 33% of the human population is a generator. So there is a pretty high chance that you are a generator if you are watching this channel, okay? And what that means is that when you are alongside other types of human designs, we can be perceived as people that have an endless amount of energy. We are like the Energizer bunnies. We are the ones that fuel society through our pick me, like I'll do it, I'll be the one, I got it, I'll run and go get it. Like that is a human design generator, because our creative source, which comes from our sacral creative center, is our source of power. It is full. And so as a generator, you can put forth long, extensive hours into different projects or your job or different jobs, okay? But the problem comes along when you are putting your energy into things that you are not passionate about. And this was a very big lesson for me, that when I found out and I started to study about myself, I started to give myself permission to say no to the things that I was not passionate about and the things that were not fulfilling me. Because being an empath and being a sensitive, I was deeply affected by just putting my energy into things that I knew was not going to move my bottom line forward. Like, just think about how much time you are spending scrolling through social media, how much time you are spending, reading about gossip. Or shout out to you if you spend most of your time on YouTube. I'm so happy to have you here, because I spend a lot of my time on YouTube because I find that that actually nourishes me. I could spend 10 minutes on Instagram and I'm like, oh, I gotta log out. Like, I've got it down, my discipline, as well as far as like keeping my battery charged up and filled, by really limiting my social media intake. So when I go on social media, I really don't spend more than, honestly, probably like 5 minutes at a time, unless I'm about to make a post. But I really created some space between social media and myself, because I realized that it was not moving my bottom line. The algorithm is not been doing me any favors and, connecting me with new viewers. It's not generating money in my pocket, and it is not giving me emotional fulfillment. So I disciplined myself out of habitually scrolling through social media. And so now I have so much more energy to do self-discovery and entertainment in the form of different types of self-exploration. Okay, so ask yourself what it is you're putting your energy into. Is it giving you energy back, or is it taking you? And when you begin to connect deeply with your needs, that means that you are sitting and you are reflecting on yourself, and you are being perceptive to your inner self. And that in and of itself is a feminine act. Being receptive, being mindful, being conscious of what your body needs at every moment of the day. So, I work with a lot of bodies. So I do body work right now. Of course, I do coaching as well. but I just started a new job where I'm doing body work. So I'm touching bodies constantly all day. So throughout the day, even though I'm interacting with people, I still am deeply mindful of what it is I need. Am I thirsty? How is my musculoskeletal system feeling? How are my emotional levels? What emotions are coming off of the people that I'm working with? Like, how are they being affected by my energy? And, every day is different. Every day as women, we wake up in a different body hormonally as we go throughout the month. So we must be very sensitive and very mindful to our needs as we go through these rhythmic changes. I believe that our theme here for July is going to be rhythm and change. I'm feeling like super in tune with the topic of rhythm. So one of the ways in which you can create more energy for yourself is to get in alignment with your rhythm. Okay. Now, when it comes to being fatigued and putting your energy into things that don't feed you back, I oftentimes find that this, in my history, in my past, for me personally, has been generated from me having a fear mindset about lack and not having enough. So it's like if I stop to take a rest or to breathe, or if I stop, let's say I stop working 40 hours a week and I go down to 30 hours for a week, for example, I don't work 40 hours a week. But for example, there could be like a fear there that's like, oh my God, I'm going to miss out on something. And there is an emptiness there that can be filled by slowing down and having a conversation about that fear. If we're always just running through life and we're not taking stops at these signposts in our path of life and in the journey of life, we're going to run over ourselves and run past these opportunities to really deepen and getting to know ourselves at every stop. So as a divine feminine, when you start to really tap into your divine feminine energy, you realize that you are abundant because you are tapped into that divine aspect of yourself. You realize that it is not just the ego's mind or the ego's perception of what is happening to life that is in control. You are divinely guided and divinely supported when you reach out to your spirit guides and you pray and you speak to God, you speak to your ancestors, and you speak to your spiritual team, which is one of the things that I've been doing since I was a child. It's just always been in me to have that spiritual connection. And the more sophisticated that I get with my goddess energy and my goddess behavior, I am learning how to communicate with the divine very clearly what my needs are. So just asking for what you need from your divine self, when you find that your ego is limiting your ability to make these decisions that are going to benefit your wellness long term. Sometimes you need to shut the ego down, let your higher goddess self take over, let the ego shut the ego down, and communicate with spirit to ask you to strengthen you in those areas where you feel weak. And this has supported my divine feminine energy so much because as I grew up in my 20s and in my early 30s, I just powered my way through so much of life because, again, that whole human design generator thing, I always had energy to keep going and keep doing things. Up until like just 2 years ago, I started to experience burnout regularly. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. We have to level up these self-care techniques. And self-care is not always just taking a spa day or going and getting a massage. Self-care for me is like putting the phone down at the end of the night, pulling out my journal, writing down my thoughts, having these psychic energy clearing moments that I've talked about in other videos. Okay. So other signs that you need to develop your feminine energy, opportunities for feminine energy development, are feeling guilty about resting. Okay. If you are trying to do things from an unrested state, you're only going to do them halfway. So if you are, let's say you're studying for school, like you're studying for an exam or something, or you have a profession like myself where I have to speak on YouTube, okay? 2 hours is pretty much the brain's capacity to focus optimally. So research shows that about that 2 hour mark, your brain kind of starts to wander and do all of these different things. So when you are doing something that requires a lot of concentration, you want to kind of microdose your productivity. Okay. So if you're doing something every 2 hours, like stand up, go for a walk, stretch your feet, put your feet on the earth, get a grounding mat, put your feet on the grounding mat, do what you need to do to give yourself that pause, step back from the task at hand, tap into yourself, allow your nervous system to reset through some deep breaths. Touch yourself, kind of like tap through the body just to clear energy, and go back to it after a short break, and you will find that you're more productive because you will be less distracted and a little less tired. Also, midday naps are super wonderful when you really have to concentrate a lot. Okay. Ways that you can know that you need more feminine energy can show up in the form of your relationships. Okay. So if you're in a relationship and you are always taking initiative to make the plans, like step back, lean back, and let the guy take over. Let him be the one that decides what you do for the night. Let him be the one to initiate, going out. If you're dating, you're on the dating scene, like let guys reach out to you. Don't be always initiating phone calls and texts. Like, in fact, I recommend that you rarely initiate phone calls and texts. Like, get out of that habit. It is a horrible habit that puts you as a woman in a disadvantaged state, because masculine energy at its natural state wants to hunt, wants to pursue. And so when you allow a man to be in that natural energetic state of pursuit, or if you are a feminine here and you like masculine energies, whatever have you, you don't necessarily have to be heterosexual or whatever. If you want to be pursued, then you need to put yourself in a space where you are available to be pursued. And so that means just allowing yourself to be grounded in your own energy, filled up, having your well filled, having your cup full with your own energy, so that you serve as like a beacon of positive energy and positive light. And I know that's one of the things that makes me super attractive to not only suitors, but clients and customers as well. It is that light, it is the maintenance of that vibration and the deep knowingness of who I am that makes me super attractive. And it can be the same for you when you start to cultivate that. So when you allow yourself to, again, let it play out, you can leave that in the comments with a heart, with your favorite colored heart. Let it play out if you're resonating with this message. Just let it play out. I love that statement. Let it play out. Let's say you have a date set up. He's supposed to call you and pick you up. And then the morning comes, you don't hear from him. The afternoon comes, you don't hear from him. The evening comes, you don't hear from him. Do not initiate. Don't initiate. Alert, alert. Don't initiate. Just sit back, fall back, and let it play out. Do something that delights your feminine energy. Find some busy work. Do something else with your energy versus dissipating it out into that masculine channel. Reserve, shore up your energy so that you are nice and embodied and full when a divine masculine knows that comes around, that knows what he wants out of life. Okay, chill back with it. And then, you really want to be letting your suitors, your partners go through their process. Men process things differently than women. And a lot of times it is a lot more slowly, and it is also less verbal. So instead of always trying to find verbal solutions for challenges in relationships, I want you to get really sophisticated with your energy and the dialogue that you have with yourself so that you can change your own personal vibration, which will naturally automatically change the way that people are magnetically responding to you. Because in this fifth dimensional reality that we live in, that is governed by alchemy and energetics, these things are affecting us on a subconscious, subtle realm. So the energy speaks louder than anything else that you could possibly do in your behavior. Okay. So the moment that you start to shift your energy in relationship, everything else changes. All right. Another sign that you need more feminine energy is irregular moon cycles. So if you're menstruating irregularly and it's not rhythmic and it's not predictable, this means that you need to go into a state of more receptivity towards yourself and your personal rhythm, which has been the theme of the month of July is rhythm. Okay. So you really want to tap into your body's rhythm, what it is that you are eating. How is your body responding to whatever it is you're eating? How can you shift yourself nutritionally as you start to approach your cycle? So for me, I know that I definitely cannot do dairy throughout the month. My skin doesn't like it. My hormones don't like it. I can definitely do animal protein at this stage in my life. A few years ago, I couldn't. Um, as I approach my moon cycle, I hydrate more because I know when it's actually on, sometimes I don't like to drink water because I already feel bloated. So prior to it, I try to hydrate. I try to eat a lot of fiber. So when your hormones start to shift and your moon cycle comes on, you start to go to the bathroom more. So you make more bowel movements, which is your body's form of purging. So the moon cycle is a very complex purging process. It purges you digestively, it purges your womb, it purges you energetically and emotionally. It's all an opportunity. So you can pay attention to your body to pinpoint when is a good time to start to add more fiber, fruits, and vegetables to your nutrition, okay, to support your rhythm. So there are little things that we can do from that goddess awareness level to just make life easier for us and to support our feminine energy. So that's just one of the things that has been really super helpful for me along the lines of helping me to tap into my feminine energy, because when I lighten up my diet and I make those shifts when my moon cycle comes on, it's not like the end of the world for 2-3 days. It's just the end of the world for like an hour or two now. So I found that it has just gotten so much better as I have gotten more mindful about my behavior throughout the month. Okay. Other signs that you need more feminine energy activation is autoimmune diseases. So any type of autoimmune disease can be a great indicator that you need to tap more into your feminine energy, because when you have an autoimmune disease, that means that your immune system, which is your body's defense system, this is your body's masculine system that fights foreign bodies and illnesses and diseases, is actually working to attack you. So fundamentally, energetically, I see an autoimmune issue as your masculine energy in overdrive and working against you. So simple things like nervous system resets, anything that you can look up on yambs.co will help you to reset your body and help you to up level your energy so that you are able to drop into your feminine energy and you can eliminate conflict inside of your body. Sometimes it can be challenging to eliminate conflict in your external reality, especially depending on what stage in your goddess development you are. So, like if you're a neophyte and you're brand new and you're just awakening to inner work and you're just awakening to what goddess energy is and how you self-care and how you are mindful with yourself, or whether you are a student of life and you are practicing and you are learning how to perfect the craft and the art of being yourself, or whether you are an adept where you are teaching other people and leading other people and you are moving into new stages of your own personal self-understanding because of the interactions and the growth and the things that you are sharing in community. Every level of those stages of development require a different type of attention. And it requires a different type of energy to your goddess self. And so we are ever unfolding, we are ever always blossoming and in different stages of blooming, because we are always stimulating ourselves and allowing ourselves to be exposed to new paradigms and growing. And this is just why that feminine energy is at its essence fertile. And there is the death and the rebirth process of feminine energy, and that is in the category of that great rhythm. So tuning in to that rhythm with your body, and shifting your vibration and being aware of how you control the vibration that is in your body, which is the thing that I've really been practicing over the last 2 or 3 years, and really gotten and very intentional about it, like very, very intentional about it, which I'm sure I've talked about in other videos, has been so powerful in how I'm like able to shift my reality. Because I will tell you, as you all can see, I'm in a new space, which we talked about in the previous video, the solstice video. In the past, I discredited my ability to manifest. I really didn't consider myself to be a great manifester. But with this apartment, I'll tell you that I did a vision board for this apartment. And one of the things that I had on the vision board that I forgot that I put on the vision board until after I signed the lease and I came back and checked things out was a dishwasher. So I actually put dishwasher on the actual vision board, got an apartment with a dishwasher and everything else that I asked for: the wood floors, the connection with nature, the having my own parking space and not having to do street side parking in the winter. Like, it was all there on the vision board. And there are other things in my life that are manifesting that I was very specific about when I was in this process of really learning how to ask my spirit guides and how to ask life and how to conjure the vibration that I am working on aligning with. How to do that, I was very specific about it. And now that I'm on the other side of this death and rebirth cycle that I initiated last summer, when I created the Feminine Alchemy and Freedom Activator course for you ladies, you can go and check that course out. It entails my whole process that I have been going through to get me to this, what I would consider to be my next level and my next stage, because this where I'm living is a full aligned external three-dimensional reflection of how I feel on the inside. Like, it feels like who I am right now. And as I continue to grow, as you continue to grow, you may outgrow these things. It is your divine birthright, which you will understand as you begin to really become a devotee of your feminine energy, that it is always your birthright to change your mind. It is always your birthright. It is a part of your feminine essence to want more for yourself. And the last thing that I have here before I end this video is learning to trust your intuition. Learning to trust your intuition is so important. And I find that as an interdisciplinarian, that learning to trust your intuition falls in a cross section with what is happening with your adrenal system and what is happening with your nervous system. Because when it comes to your intuition, your nervous system is going to respond to your environment and in your reality in these subtle ways that if you have mental and emotional patterns that are running the show on autopilot, you are going to miss out on those signals that your nervous system is actually sending you, and you start to doubt yourself. So it's very important to be able to have that dialogue with your goddess self, with your higher self. I think I'm going to make one of the next upcoming videos to be a conversation with how to actually speak to yourself and like your inner goddess self and what the different voices are that you are speaking to yourself in and parts of yourself that you are speaking to. I think I'm going to do that video coming up just based on this conversation. So when you are developing your intuition, you have to be careful about how you're speaking to yourself, because if you are speaking to yourself with the voice of an oppressor, who could be anybody in your life, then you are automatically shutting down and you are dampening your body's signals and your intuition in response to the guidance that you are truly being given. And this can really create time lags for you. It can really drag out life. It can drag out situations and relationships that were just supposed to be here just to show you a quick lesson for you to move on, versus you staying stuck in this cycle for 8 years, 10 years. So learning how to have a healthy intuition and working that muscle, just like everything else that we grow strong in, is essential for your feminine energy. All right. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please comment below. Let me know which one of those resonated the most for you. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. One love.